Hello, welcome to the official video assembly guide for the GachaPop 3D printable vending system. This is the version 2 of the machine. We are going to be following the exact same steps in the same order as the included PDF assembly guide. There are several important notes that we need to cover before starting this build. Two that are of utmost importance. Do not force parts together. If parts don't slide together easily, they are not printed correctly and you need to go back, adjust your print settings, and reprint. If you have questions about print settings, reach out to me personally. And fasteners should be snug, but not tight, meaning over tight. As we tighten things up with our tool or a quarter, we need to understand that over tightening puts our parts at risk of breaking. The first portion of our build will be the lower housing. The parts that we need for this are 4 walls, the lower housing floor, coin drawer, capsule chute, the 4 knurled feet, and 4 of our standard fasteners, which are these longer ones, as well as whichever tool we choose to use, whether you've printed them for the square tool or the screws that can be assembled with a quarter. Alternative to printing the 4 walls separately, there is an option where you can print all walls in one go, but you also need to print this little locking tab assembly. For our first step, we're going to take the front wall, which looks like this, and our capsule chute, and we're going to slide the capsule chute into the front wall. Step 2, we're going to identify which of the sides of the floor is labeled front, and we're going to slide the grooves on the wall onto the matching pins on that same side. Our third step is to do the same, but with the back wall. For step 4, we're going to take our sidewalls, which are labeled A and B, and find the corresponding labels on the floor, B, A. We're going to slide these rails onto these grooves in the front and back walls. The process for the single piece wall looks almost identical, but first we're going to install our little coin drawer tab assembly. To do that, you simply line this up with this hole with the tab facing outward. Take a short screw and fasten it in to where it's just barely snug. And then, similar to the other steps, slide in the capsule chute and align it with the pins on the floor. After we have our walls lined up, we're going to flip the entire assembly over and install our 4 standard fasteners. These go in the outermost threaded holes. While we're down here, we're going to install the knurled feet, and these are going to go into these inner threaded holes. Now that we have our feet installed, flip our machine back over and install the coin drawer, which should just slide nicely right onto those rails. And that is the completed lower housing. The next version of the assembly will be our coin mechanism. We're going to start this portion of the assembly by taking our coin gate spring, which is this one with a triangle, and placing it into position. The proper positioning looks like this. Next, we're going to take the coin gate itself, which looks like this, and we're going to install it into the housing by placing pressure on it with the spring and placing it on the circular pin, just like that. Now, similar to our coin gate, our next step is to take the pawl spring, which is the one with the square or diamond on it, and we're going to place it in this position. Similar to the coin gate spring, we're going to take the pawl, which looks like this, and we are going to use the pawl spring to put pressure on the pawl and then place it onto the circular pin, like so. Next up, we're going to take the coin receiver gear and place it inside of the housing. After that, we're going to take the combined handle and coin mech core and push it through the middle of our assembly. Ensure that the part that was supported during printing is facing downward. And now we're going to close up our coin mech assembly by placing the back panel. The best way to tell if these are aligned is if these curves here match up. A lot of the time people will assemble it like this. This is wrong. The coin won't be able to come out this way. Make sure that it's this way. And we are going to use these 4 knurled fasteners in order to secure the back panel to the housing. These are okay if they're left hand tight. This is a good opportunity to check that the coin mechanism is running smoothly. If it feels like the movement is rough or there's too much friction, I recommend taking your assembly apart and placing a few drops of lubricating oil along this little rail. And we can test it out again. Significantly smoother. After testing its functionality, we can stack together the remainder of the pieces. In order, we will slide on the spacer, the interface gear with the smaller triangle arrow facing outward, and then topping it off with the end cap, which just threads on like that. And that is our completed coin mechanism. Now that we have our completed lower housing and coin mechanism, we can move on to the wheel housing. Our first step in this portion is going to be to add the coin mechanism to the lower housing. And it just slides on just like that. Our next step involves these 4 connector pieces and 4 more of our standard size fasteners. You'll notice on these connectors that there's a side with a circle and a side without. The side with the circle is going to face toward the outside of the machine. And so with this little dot facing outward, we will place these little connectors into the lower housing and secure them from the outside with one of our standard fasteners. Once those are in, this is what it should look like. For our next steps, we're going to set this aside and start working on the wheel itself. You're going to find your wheel and wheel star parts, and you'll notice that these both have this little triangle imprinted on them. We're going to line these triangles up and squish them down face to face, just like that. Next up, we're going to grab our wheel floor piece and our wheel shank. We're going to put the shank through the wheel and then through the floor, ensuring that the capsule hole is on the right side. Once we have the shank pushed through the wheel and the floor, we're going to take the shank retainer and tighten it on, but it's important to note that this tightens reverse, tightens in the counterclockwise direction, aka lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. We are now going to combine these 2 parts together. You'll notice that these holes on this floor line up perfectly with the connectors that are sticking out of the lower housing. Next up, we're going to take our hopper funnel and deflector piece and place them together. This deflector piece just fits right into this groove on the hopper funnel, and it is secured from the opposite side using 2 of our short fasteners. And this is what that part looks like when it is assembled. Now it's time to place these 2 parts together. You'll notice that on the underside of the hopper funnel, there are these slots. It's important to ensure that the grooves on the coin mechanism are lined up with their corresponding rails on the hopper funnel. Usually by lining these up, everything else will line up quite nicely. And now, just like before, we will use 4 standard fasteners to secure the hopper funnel to the lower housing. And this is what it should look like when it's all assembled. In order to ensure that capsules vend properly, you need to make sure that this hole here is lined up with the chute. And so we can just give it a little bit of a lift off of the interface gear and place it down to where it is lined up. And that's our completed lower and wheel housings. Our final portion for this build is going to be the hopper. You'll find that there are 2 differently labeled corner frames labeled A and B. You need 2 of each of these. In a similar fashion, you'll see that each corner is labeled with an A or a B inside of the threaded hole. You're probably able to figure it out, but the A's need to go with the A's and the B's need to go with the B's. We'll take this threaded end and screw it into the hole until it bottoms out. The next step is to insert our cage panels, and these simply slide into the grooves on the corner frames. Sometimes if these are tight, you may need to give them a little bit of motivation so that they kind of snap into place, like that. Next up is our lid assembly. You'll notice that these 2 gantries are mirrored. Whichever way you want the lid to slide, that is which way this open end should go. So there's an open end and a closed end. These gantries are placed on top of our corner frames and kind of hug our cages and hold them in place. Next up, we're going to need these 4 lid fasteners, which are the ones with the tall heads. Just as we've done previously, we'll use these fasteners to secure the gantry to the corner frames. And then with that, we can take our lid piece and slide it into the grooves on the gantry until it's all the way forward. Alternatively, if you've opted to use the single print lid, you just line it up, place it on the frames, and secure it with the same 4 fasteners. And just like that, you have your fully assembled, zero glue GachaPop vending machines. Let's test them out. We've got some capsules loaded up in our machines. Let's test them out, see if they vend. Beautiful. Oops. And perfect, although that one's empty. Ta-da! I want to thank everybody that helped bring this project to life, from those that supported by buying the version 1 files, to my patrons, to people who just gave great suggestions on how to improve the machine. Thank you so much. I really hope that you enjoy this platform. This is just the beginning. I have a lot of ideas of where to take this, and you'll be hearing from me soon.
Buzz, buzz.